It is so good to have you aboard with me once again. My name is Mr. Gravy, and I'm back with another very special interview episode here where I get down with the top MLB The Show content creators, top 50 players. Today I'm sitting with the legendary ScuffyMcgee. It is such an honor to be sitting here with you today, sir. It's been a crazy year, from a nutty pandemic to a shortened baseball season. How are you navigating through all this lately?
It's been pretty easy for me. I'm a homebody as is, so so everything's quite normal for me, but it is still a little weird out there as we go through each day. So especially with everything surroundings and especially with how the baseball season's going and everything. But you know, we're trucking through it. So.
It's been a year unlike any other year, particularly when you watch sports. There's no fans in there. You can't go see a game. I know you're a diehard Mets fan. What's it been like just watching your team from afar this year?
Just watching baseball in general has been fun. It is distraction to get away for whatever 3 hours or so. The Mets might not be playing as up to expectations, but sometimes you have to look through the hindsight of things, and they actually have a season going on and actually playing baseball every day. So as much as I will love them to continue to play better, it's just been fun watching. And that's for any other baseball teams out there, because there's been so much good baseball all around MLB, like with the young teams, with the Tatis, with the White Sox, with Robert, and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of fun to watch, and thankful as well.
Yeah, if you're a young kid coming up and watching these stars, I don't know if there's any better time for a young person to get into the game of baseball. MLB The Show, they just came out with their final headliner pack, Max Scherzer.
Yep.
A lot of people wanted kind of a better final card. What was your thoughts on this last one?
It's once again where we as the community, just like we did for the big collection with Mike Trout, we kind of hyped it up a little bit too much. We all thought it was going to be Mookie. I think a lot of people thought it was Mookie. I did too, because of Ward's 50. He had Ward 50 when he was with the Red Sox, and it would have been a great way to kind of end the headliners. I mean, I kind of wish the headliners were still going, to be honest with you. There's so many other cards that still need to be released. But hey, they might have other stuff to focus on, especially with 21. It's going to be here like within the next couple of months, and you know it's going to be next generation and multi-platform. So I'm sure they're busy away working on that. So, but Scherzer, it's still a nice card. I'll try him out. I always liked how he liked his windup a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only meta pitches he pretty much has is the cutter and slider. His fastball does have the velocity, so sometimes what I feel like I like with that Scherzer is how I could control him due to that windup. It's weird. Sometimes I don't look at stats that much. We'll get into it once we go into. I'm sure we're going to have some type of BR talk.
How could you not?
Yeah. Sometimes I look through windups. I look through swings of a particular player, and they play above the stats. Personally, that's just a mental aspect for me. And Scherzer's one of those type of pitchers that I like pitching with. Last year, he was one of my favorite cards, even for the live series. And this year, I used him a little bit. There was just so much content, so I didn't really use him that much this year. But I'll give him that awards. Scherzer a shot, see how it goes. I mean, the stamina's there, the H9 is there, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think I was pretty happy with the card. I watched Coogs' video, his debut video on it, which went absolutely horrible, and it sort of made me go,
He doesn't have
know.
that much luck on debuts sometimes.
No, he doesn't.
A lot of YouTube creators don't, because I think we focus too much on that particular player, and you're trying too hard with that player sometimes. Unless you're like a top player like Gunslinger or Kyle or one of those, or a Seabrev, it doesn't matter. They'll go off no matter who it is.
Right.
So, I'm not one of them, so it sometimes I put too much pressure if I'm like debuting someone on stream or something like that. But sometimes you never know. They might come through. But with any card, you give it multiple tries and see how it goes.
Of course. And so let's talk about that for just a second, too. With you being a mainly Twitch streamer, how did that happen for you? Like were you just, tell me the story.
So for that, I mean, I started in 2017, so it wasn't so saturated as it is now. I mean, it all originated from when I went to one of my best friend's house and he was watching Twitch, but he wasn't even watching MLB content. He was just watching speed runs for Mario, and I think it's Midge Flower Power or something like that. We're watching him, and I didn't know what Twitch was. This is my first time watching it, and you just see him doing speed runs. You see the chat integrating. I just thought that was pretty cool, and then that kind of went into I think H1Z1 was big back then. So I started watching Doc. I started watching CDNCs, and then he pretty much brought up, "Well, I don't want to do this for MLB The Show because that's pretty much all I play." Well, at the time, and this still kind of is true, that's all I play. And he knew I was decent with it. So, and you know what? I always liked sports radio, especially when I went to college. That's what I listened to during my breaks and stuff like that. So I would always interested. Like I said, if I had to go again with college, I would definitely go into that type of things.
Okay.
What I do now with IT. But this was like a creative outlet, which I saw I would like to try. So I started streaming in 17, and since then, that's been my main focus. I've been doing for over 3 years. So I kind of, like for now, like if you get into the game now and start doing content, it is recommended where you build on multiple platforms, especially bring YouTube, because discoverability is a big thing. And Twitch doesn't really have a good way of discoverability. For MLB The Show, we're kind of lucky because we don't have a crazy oversaturated deck rate. It's still big and it's just going to keep on growing. But it's not like, say, your Warzone or any other pop-up games that are coming out. That's why it's always to, like, you see where, I was lucky, kind of, I guess, because I started years ago. And kind of just build it up that way and go from there.
So you had been playing MLB The Show, like you just mentioned, for a long time. How long have you been playing the show?
I've been playing since David Wright was on the cover. I've actually borrowed the game.
Was that like 07?
06 or 07. So I think 07 or 08. I just don't remember. I should know this, but I don't.
It's okay.
Yeah, I borrowed from. So I was always an MVP guy. I've been playing MVP Baseball 5 on PC and modding that for 6 to 7 years. I was part of the MVP mods community. It's kind of weird because when I created content over there, because I did dynasties over there, like creating dynasties and just like go through each game of each team.
Okay.
I didn't consider that content at the time. I just thought me just having fun. Also, there was a site called Dynasty Manager, and then where you post recaps of your games that you played in MVP or MLB The Show, and I just used to do that. And I never like figured that being content, but looking back, that's pretty much where I started my content. And then I guess now with the live streaming, I kind of went into that route. But yeah, let's go back to the story. I'm going off tangent. I will do this. I'll go off tangent.
Oh, that's okay. Whatever.
So, but yeah, I borrowed the game from a coworker. I was working at Modelo Sporting Goods. If anyone knows what that is. He was telling me pretty much about Road to Show. I never heard about Road to Show before, and he let me borrow the game. Let's just say this was for PlayStation 2 at the time, and I never gave him the game back. So that's all. I started on Road to Show, and then once I transferred to PS3, that's when I started doing online. That was around 12, 13, 14, and that's when the online franchises started coming in, and that was my mainstay for a couple of years.
Online franchise. You said it, not me. I miss those days so bad.
Yeah, those were fun days. As we all know, that's where we first crossed paths.
Yes.
Poison Ivy, right? That's
yes. Yeah. Yes. Prison of Ivy.
Yeah, and but just in general, I've been in multiple leagues, and those were always fun because you knew. You first off, you had the interaction within, like, say, a group me. Which is basically what Discord is now, kind of, but that was just not as organized, I guess.
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah, it's not nearly as in depth.
Yeah, but it was basically Discord where you had one chat and you guys just went at it. You'll talk crap or you just talk trades and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun because you're with 29 other guys and trying to just playing MLB The Show and loving the game while doing it. And the competition was always top tier, in my opinion. Like even when like 14 and 15, that's where I really thought I was playing against like really good players, and I believe I was. I just don't remember names that much from back in the day, but it was always sweaty games, and I think that's where I started to get my competitiveness more into MLB The Show as I moved on throughout the years. And I always look back to just, the playoffs. Every time you go into playoffs, it's nothing like 11-0 game. I swear, like every game. Well, I guess it's similar to like 11-0 game because you want to win the series. You want to have the bragging rights. You want to go back to that chat and just, I won it, and go from there. But it was a lot of fun. I think it's more just the interaction with everyone and playing the game at the same time.
It's a passionate community of other guys who are also
Yeah.
trying to build their teams. It's a good time for sure. So to kind of bring it back a little bit to where we're at now in the show, what are your thoughts this year? You're a very big BR player, obviously.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the gameplay this year?
It has its up and downs. I mean, every game does. I don't think you can make a perfect baseball game. The things we had the fielding stuff in the beginning that wasn't that great.
Oh yeah.
We still see a little bit bugs where they won't pick it up in the outfield at the walls, so that will love to see fixed. It's been inconsistent. What way I phrase it, you'll have 3 games that play consistent, and you're just like, this is why I love the game. And then the next game, it's just everything just goes downhill, and you're like, it's just hard to continue sometimes when it just goes downhill. So that's why I phrase it. It's just inconsistency. When it's good, it's really good. When it's bad, it sometimes you want to just shut it off for the night and just say, bring it on to the next day, and we'll go from there. So,
speaking of that, I saw one of your recent tweets. You broke your first controller, and I'd love to hear the story on that one.
That was more on putting the pressure on myself. It wasn't anything gameplay wise, thank God.
Okay.
It was more putting. Now I'm sounding like I'm bragging, but it's like I have 4 flawless right now, and I'm really shooting for that 5th. And because I don't know why I want this freaking fictional banner so much, but I don't know why. Maybe it's just for the bragging rights.
Bragging rights.
It's so stupid though. I shouldn't. It's a video game. It's a video game. I should just be like, yo, let's just have fun with it. And but sometimes, like I said, it's the competitiveness that I bring to the game sometimes, and I get too competitive, especially when I play offline. That's why I like streaming the game as well, but we could get into that. But yeah, I was 7-0 in the run. Let's just say I blew a game like I typically do. If you guys are new of not knowing who I am, I typically blow games left and right. I can't pitch at all in this game, especially when you're playing BR and All-Star. Anything can happen in the All-Star. It's really a crapshoot in the All-Star. So, but that's kind of the beauty of it sometimes too, as much as we get frustrated, but it was just build up pressure, and I just got too aggravated not winning the game, and it was it. That was it. It was control was no more. Can't use it, and now I know better not to throw a Vantage 2 anymore, to get something else and throw it itself. But hey, it happens.
Happens to the best of us. It sure does. What's your favorite MLB to date so far? Do you have a favorite?
17, because the nostalgia of starting streaming. That goes hand in hand, because that's when I first started streaming. That's when I first started building community, and how much fun I had with it. As much we had Just Late Be Great in it.
Late Be Great.
I just had so much fun with that game. Content was still great in that year too. Even though by September endgame cards were already endgame cards, but content was really good in 17 as well. So that was probably going to be always my favorite. Gameplay wise, to be honest with you, we are in a good state gameplay wise. Sometimes it's just not consistent enough.
But like you said, you have 4 flawless 12-0 BRs. This is your main mode. It's the cream of the crop for you. How are you so good at BR?
I don't know. I kind of don't consider myself good.
That's fine.
I'm pitching. I really don't. I think there's a lot of luck that goes in BR.
Okay.
I think building a team, knowing what type of player you like, don't go off stats. Don't be afraid of trying new players. there's a lot of things that go into BR. My favorite thing about BR is before we even play one game. That's drafting. Drafting is my favorite thing to do in this game. Legit, when they gave us the free, like, you didn't have to pay for BR. I have 284 common packs or something like that right now.
Oh my god!
Because I literally sat there for probably 2 hours just redrafting, just see what type of teams I can make. Because it's really knowing the in and outs of the lower tier cards, how they affect your higher tier pick and stuff like that. Just knowing, like, who's the underrated players, what type of swing you like the Nico Goodrums. For me, Freddie Galvis, we all know, has been an absolute stud, especially when it was even the bronze. I just love his swing. Wilkin Castillo, probably never heard of him, right? Wilkin Castillo, switch hitter catcher, has one of the great swings in this game.
Really?
Gracer Grainer, common. I would choose him for my bench just because of his swing.
No kidding.
There's a lot of players out there that could be role players for your BR run that you just won't know, especially for pitching wise too. I mean, they're all pretty much known now, but like say the Melvin Andone, like before it started, common throws up to 100, and he has 4 pitches. He still could mix it up well. It's all-star. Gotta remember that it's all-star. It's not Hall of Fame, higher difficulty. There's more room to be successful out. Where in the higher difficulties, there's less room for error.
So there's really the game inside of the game, more or less.
Pretty much. And I think that's where I get my enjoyment from. I used to always be a ranked seasons guy until last year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Always used to be ranked seasons because I always like to put like teams together and just to see how I like challenge myself. And then I was realizing that's pretty much what I'm doing in BR, just making teams and going from there. So they gave us a free mode, well, not free mode, but a mode to do that itself. And then the adrenaline of the 3-inning games and the unsure and uncertainty, I know this sounds bad, of All-Star, because anything could really happen. And anyone could win. It doesn't matter what level, don't matter what your record is, pretty much anyone could win on any given day, depending on who you face, in my opinion.
That's great. No, I think that's really good insight. So would you say what's your number one tip to going 12-0? If you could only give one tip out, what would it be?
Number one tip is know your strengths and weaknesses, pretty much.
Okay.
That's how I draft my team. My weakness is pitching. Where a lot of people don't like to say, don't get the diamond pitchers or stuff like that. There's other low-tier players. I say there's plenty of low-tier hitters out there that can play just the same.
There you go.
So just knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and pretty much this year, I think a lot of people are struggling with pitching because pitching, let's just face it, it's not at the standard as it once was, where input was the greatest. And that's one thing I like to see improved on. It's been a little inconsistent at times. This is just constructive criticisms. At times it feels good. At times it just feels like it's, even if you hit green, it's not going anywhere. So it's just very hard to pitch. So I use that as just building up my strength there, and then building up my lineup there. And don't be afraid to go to the lower tier cards, either for the pitching or the hitting side. Like I'm pretty sure Odor has a great swing. And
he does.
Use IE to your advantage as well. Kevin Biggio. I'm trying to think of other bronze players that that I'm thinking about, but I can't think of offhand. Even Ben Zorbas. I mean, like, that Ben Zorbas still rakes for him. Jorge Alfaro, the catcher from the Marlins.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Amazing right-handed swing. Plus, he has 76 speed. He has a good arm. Maybe doesn't have the greatest blocking, but he could hit the ball. So just like, you gotta look for the best value in each round. That's how I look at it. Another example of that is like, say how there's the Diamond Grando.
Oh sure.
Don't ever choose it. Why? Because you have 3 chances to get that gold one in the gold round.
Clever. Yeah, good point.
So just think of your players that you already have. Like for diamond wise, first base, you should never pick a first base diamond. Why? Because there's so many good first base, either for silver, even for bronze. I mean, we could name off, let's say, Mitch Moreland always has 90 power plus IE. Edwin's always there. I like Reese Hoskins. Hoskins has been amazing for
Oh
me.
yeah.
There's so many good cards. Even secondary positions. Say now we have all these silver catchers with Gary, Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver has the secondary first base. Look for that. You never know. You got plug it. It's just building the team is always, in my eyes, the biggest key. Like I'm willing to spend up to 10 to 15K stubs until I find that right team. Because in the end, that right team might earn me 300 to whatever 700K, depending what 12 flawless I get. So that's why I look at it. Some people like, why you just don't play with the team? I'm just looking for the best value. If there's one thing off, I kind of redraft. I'm very weird.
You talked about your wish list on your podcast with Coogs for what you're looking for with BR and stuff like that. Your podcast inside the show, link to the newest episode in the description below. Talk about that podcast that you do with Coogs. How did that start? Was it your idea? Was it his idea? Did you both come together?
No, it was my idea. I was going to do it solo, to be honest with you. I always was a fan of This Week in MLB The Show with Cooper Sound, Kurt, Weasel, and Big Red Machine. They've been doing it for 2 to 3 years. Me and Cooper are good friends, still to this day. We talk pretty much regularly. And once he was done with that show, we were kind of missing. And there was another MLB The Show podcast. With two brothers, they stopped doing it, I believe. And we were kind of missing that. And I was like, you know what? Let me try it, give it my shot. And it goes back to what I was saying before, how much I love sports radio. And this podcast is, I guess, the closest thing as you will get to like a sports radio show. So I was like, you know what, let's do it for MLB The Show. So I posted the teaser for my first episode. Once I posted the first teaser, Coogs actually hit me up.
Wow.
And he's like, if you need co-hosts, let me know. I was like, you don't have to say any more. So we linked up. We always we knew, like, we talked to each other before, but we never like talked more than say like a 5 minute, but just like small talk or something like that.
Sure.
And then once we started, it was we pretty much clicked it off, and it's been really fun doing it each week. And that's how we start off our week. Every Monday we record, and then throughout the week, depending on when I'm editing it. Kind of slacking right now, but we put it out during the weekend. It's been a lot of fun, especially now we're starting to get like other creators on there and talking to them and going from there. And just, it's just a way I look at it is just two dudes just talking on the show, and how that's how I want to portray it. Nothing more than that. Just two guys that love to play the game, love to talk about the game, and just give our opinions and see where it goes.
Definitely, and you guys have a great chemistry, so it just works. You guys really make it work. It's very good stuff. It's great content that the community needs. And I think it's a little underrated, underappreciated at the current moment, but you guys will grow it, I think, for sure, and it'll be able to hit wider audiences. Speaking of hitting wider audiences and growing the game, MLB The Show is trying to do that. They recently came out with the Content Creators League, which you, my friend, are a part of. As somebody who started off playing online franchise like we talked about earlier, in a lot of ways you're somebody to look up to, in the sense that, like, you really started down here. Now you're at 13,000 followers on Twitch. You got drops on your stream. I just saw the other day 400 some odd people were watching you play a custom league game here. Talk about that a little bit. I'm curious to know, did they text you? Could you give us any behind the scenes on how they approached you?
I pretty much could say, I think, hopefully I can say this. They invited pretty much everyone that is joined to the league, and then whoever got invited, if they said yes or no, they went into it, and I was lucky to be one of the invitations. And yeah, just like you said, I mean, once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm in. I don't care if there's money on the line. They could have paid me. Well, they don't pay me, but like if there's no money on the line, I was still done it, because that's how much I like doing leagues. I was so happy when I saw online leagues back. I know it's not the full featured online franchise, but trust me, they had to start somewhere. Better off putting it now and then expand on it. And I feel like it's going to be really good within the next year or two. I really do. So I can't wait for the progression on that. But yeah, I was thankful for the opportunity by SDS and MLB The Show and be able to do that. And it's been a lot of fun because I haven't played a lot of these other creators, so that's the best part of it. I never played Yayo. Yayo's one of my good buddies, so I never played him. Even though he beat the crap out of me, but I never played Movie. Movie was probably one of the first. Well, no, that's not probably. He was one of the first streamers I ever watched in this community, and he gave me pretty much like once I started watching, I was like, yeah, I could do this too. So he gave me the motivation to actually start streaming. So it was kind of cool to play him for the first time, and like I said, and there's other good friends that I talked to throughout this league. So it's been fun. I think a lot of the community's been enjoying it too. Sweaty games, definitely, and I'm sure the playoffs is going to be even better and even sweater. I'm just hoping I can make it. I'm like a bubble team right now, so I pretty much got to win now. To make it. So we'll see what happens. What I liked about this CCL, like every creator is plugging like whoever they're facing, and we have so much respect between all of like myself and 15 other creators. We pretty much have all respect with each other, and we kind of root on each other. Like I like if I don't make playoffs, if Clutch is one of my great buddies in this. I can't like I could go on how great a dude he is. But he's one of the bubble teams. Like if he makes playoffs, it happens, but I'm going to be his like #1 fan because he's been trying to get better throughout the years at this game, and he's actually been doing quite well in the CCL. So it's just fun, man. It's just fun banter. It's bragging rights, if you want to say sometimes, and it's good competitive MLB The Show at times.
Who's the toughest guy you faced so far?
Ooh. So the top players, the top players in this league right now that I've faced is Yayo, Movie, Quinn, Serenity, Coogs. I haven't faced Shelfie. Shelfie's been killing. He's 9-1. I still have to play Healy. To be honest with you, Yayo, I couldn't pitch to Yayo. He was just destroying every ball that I get. Movie is like that too. He's very consistent. I was lucky to actually hold my own against Serenity. Serenity is just... He's really good.
He is good.
I would be. He had over 490 batting average before we played. He's really good. And then of course Coogs always has my numbers. So it like I said, once the final 8 are set, I think anyone of the final 8 will be able to win it, and that should be fun to see.
Definitely. Last thing I want to touch on with your stream, I think one of the coolest parts about watching you stream this game, besides your just diehard passion for baseball, you have some of the best production out of all of the streamers out there. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of other streamers have great production, but I think you have one of the best sets of production. Can you just talk about a little bit what goes into that? Is that stuff that you're creating? Is that stuff you're getting made? How do you put it together as one big show?
The graphics I make, I've been doing graphics since, 12 or 13.
Wow.
Photoshop. I was big into... Does sound a little nerdy. I was big into wrestling e-feds.
Okay.
Back in the day, this is like attitude era for wrestling. So
that's good.
And they always did like Photoshop stuff, and that's how I got into Photoshop. And then I just been self-taught, pretty much. I self-taught pretty much everything like between Photoshop, Premiere, Adobe After Effects, and stuff like that. So it's something I just like doing. To be honest with you, it's just. Like I said, it's just like another creative outlet, so I just have fun with it. Big inspiration before, like, not as much now on my stream, but before, especially watching Doc. I've always been a fan of Dr. Disrespect, and his quality of stream is always probably the highest tier of any streamer out there.
Sure.
So definitely had inspiration from him, just having to, like, put on, like, I don't know, just have high quality stuff. I don't know. I don't really look into it. I more look at it as more my way of having fun by just being creative.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
It's nothing like I'm not trying to outshow anyone or something. It's just something I like doing, and just making. It's something I do on my free time and just roll with it. Some things it might be too much. I don't care.
Well, no, it comes off that way. It doesn't seem like you're trying to show anybody up. It feels like a passion project. So anyway, with that, Scuff, you've been such a fantastic guest. I really appreciate having you on. Anything you'd like to shout out, plug, anything like that? Here's the time. You got anything for me?
Yeah, I mean, just it's been a lot of fun so far. It's been three years doing this. I appreciate if everyone new here. Be free to follow me on Twitch. It's ScuffyMcgee. We keep it nice and chill. It's very laid back stream. Nothing. I'm not the funniest dude. I'm just there to talk baseball, just chill, and we have a good chat. We have a good community, and be free to follow me over there. But besides that, enjoy MLB The Show. It's gonna be a hell of a next year too. The community's only going to grow. Always be willing to open arms and be able to help out each other, and that's all I look forward to. Just see how this community will grow each year, and it's been like this year has been nuts in how much growth there is, and how much more people are enjoying the game, and how lucky we kind of are sometimes when you look in hindsight compared to other other sports games. Sometimes you're very lucky sometimes with SES. I know it might be sound like Homer, but sometimes we could be frustrated with the gameplay, including myself. But we do have it lucky sometimes, and it's always great to see. But the community is the best part though, because like I said, we cross paths through online franchise, and look at what we're doing now. And not only that, just like throughout the years, you get to know everyone in the community and be friends with, and it's another, like, we've shared the same type of passion. So it's been fun, man. It's been a fun ride, and I appreciate having me on and taking the time here, man.
It was an absolute honor. It was a privilege to have you aboard. Thank you. All of his stuff will be in the description below. Make sure you show him some love. And once again, Scuffy, thank you so much. Best of luck to you the rest of the year. I hope you get that 5th flawless. I'll be watching. But that's it for now. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and take care. Happy hitting, because we hate pitching. See ya. Bye.